Hi, first graders. We are on Knowledge 5, Lesson 6. Our first vocabulary word is abundance. Say abundance. Abundance means a great amount or more than enough. The next word is dredged. Say dredged. Dredged means gathered. One more word that you're going to hear in today's read aloud is chinampas. Say chinampas. Chinampas are man-made islands appeared to float on the surface of the water. They're sometimes referred to as the floating gardens. Today you're also going to learn about two new places. The first one is Tenochtitlan, and the second one is Xochimilco. And now we're ready for today's read aloud. Paddling his canoe across the lake, the overpowering smell of blossoming flowers reached Torn Wing before he could even see them. The young man's name is Torn Wing. The Aztec, like the Mayans, named themselves for plants, animals, or types of weather that had special meaning for them. Torn Wing was named for the wing of a bird. As he came closer, countless small islands, or chinampas, came into view. He could see why people referred to these islands as floating gardens. The Aztec made these islands that appeared to float or rest on the top of the water on the surface. But chinampas could not actually float away. Each island was firmly attached by roots that grew down into the bottom of a lake. As Torn Wing maneuvered his narrow, flat-bottomed canoe among the canals or waterways, separating them, he recalled his uncle's story about how the chinampas were first formed. The Aztec had dug ditches out of the swampy land for water to flow through, then covered rafts made of reeds and branches with mud dredged or scooped up from the bottom of the lake. Over the years, layers upon layers of mud were added until finally, with the help of roots from the willow trees, the islands became stationary. So that means they don't move. Hundreds of narrow rectangular islands, separated by a network of water ditches called canals, covered the swamplands. For the people who had long sought a way to grow plants even in times when there was no rainfall, these island gardens provided a wonderful solution. The surrounding water kept the earth moist all year long, irrigating and fertilizing the fields. Maize, beans, squash, tomatoes, and chili peppers grew in abundance. So abundance means a great supply. They supplied the large city of Tenochtitlan and beyond. The gardens of Xochimilco were truly an agricultural wonderland. Torn Wing's uncle, Wingfeather, had described Xochimilco to Torn Wing after the young man's father, who was Wingfeather's brother, had died. His uncle had said, "My brother was a good man and a good farmer. Did he teach you everything that he knew?" "Yes, uncle," Torn Wing had answered. "I worked at his side in the fields. We always had the best crop of any near our village." "Good," his uncle had said. "I want you to know that even though your parents are gone now, you are not alone. Your aunt and I want you to come and live with us as our son. I can help in the business, and since we have no son of our own, when I grow too old to work, it will become yours. But nephew, I do not want to make you leave your familiar home. If you prefer to stay in your own village, I will help you by giving you cocoa beans." These cocoa beans were very valuable. The Aztec used them as a kind of money. "But if you choose to live with us, you should know that the city of Tenochtitlan and its nearby floating gardens are a wonderful place to be." Torn Wing answered, "Okay, I will come, uncle." Torn Wing had easily followed his uncle's directions to Lake Xochimilco. But now that he was at last among the watery roads of the place, he had forgotten his uncle's warning. There are so many sights to see that it is easy to become overwhelmed and lose your way. Sure enough, Torn Wing was lost. He decided to retrace his route to the edge of the floating gardens and start again. Just then, however, he heard an old woman's voice asking, "Are you lost? Perhaps I can help." Turning, he saw a short, gray-haired woman smiling warmly at him. She was sitting in a boat tied to a rope in the nearest chinampa. "If you are lost," she said, "you are not the first. When I was a girl and came here for the first time, it took weeks before I learned my way around." Torn Wing smiled back and said, You are very kind. As a matter of fact, I am lost. I am trying to find my uncle. His name is Wing Feather. Her smile grew even wider. I know him. He and my sons are friends. They can take you to him. She squinted closely at the young man. So you are Wing Feather's nephew. He told us you were coming. My name is Moonwish. She turned and called over her shoulder. Starweb, Loud Song, come here. From around the far side of a high, thick cluster of plants came two of the biggest men Tornwing had ever seen. He thought to himself, these two certainly do not look anything like their tiny mother. The two young brothers grinned. It is good to meet you, the first one said. I am Star Webb. I am the tall brother, he joked. This is my little brother, Loud Song. Actually, Loud Song was even bigger than Star Webb, but he didn't seem to mind the introduction. He laughed and gave his older brother a friendly pat. Then Star Webb added, Loud Song is especially glad to be friends of Wing Feather's relatives. Then the younger brother, Loud Song, said, I will lead you to your uncle. Sliding into a canoe so smoothly that it hardly rocked beneath him, he said, follow me, and started off. Tornwing had just enough time to say goodbye to Moon, Wish, and Star Webb, paddling off quickly in order to keep his guide in sight. What a wonderful place, he thought. This is my new home. All the tiredness of his journey was forgotten in his excitement as he rode further into the heart of the floating garden. The end. You may now go ahead and click on the Google form to answer the questions about today's read aloud.